Hello and welcome to InsideSCU, a new initiative, a new web series we have here on campus where we will be talking about new initiatives and stories from around the Mission campus. Thank you so much for joining us. First to our live studio audience, to all of you on Facebook Live as well as LinkedIn. For all of you online, be sure as we're going on throughout the day, be sure to please post your comments, your questions, because at the end we will have a few minutes for our panelists to answer some questions. My name is Danielle Slayton. I am an alumni of 2002. I currently work here at Santa Clara in the School of Education. And before I get to introduce our panelists, we're going to look back at some of the highlights of the women's soccer program from Santa Clara University, because today we're going to be talking about Santa Clara's national prominence, specifically through women's soccer. Our program, it started back in the 80s and 90s, where we have the famous Brandy Chastain, who came to the Mission campus. Here at the Mission campus, she then went on to fame and success in the women's national team. And on the women's national team, kicking a winning penalty kick in the 1999 Women's World Cup. In 2001, we were fortunate enough to win a national championship here at Santa Clara. We got to visit the White House, some big highlights there. And in more current times, we have current players, Julie Johnston, now Julie Ertz, who plays for the U.S. Women's National Team, played and had success in the recent 2019 Women's World Cup. And our very own Kelsey Hedge, who you guys will be hearing from shortly. Kelsey is a current player here at Santa Clara, but also has some experience with the national team, specifically on the under 20 and the youth side. So let's meet our panelists. As I said, my name's Danielle Slayton, and to my left is Allie Wagner. Allie and I have known each other for 25 years.
You did that math.
Something like that. And the two things that you need to know about Allie, beside all of her success and all of the fabulous things she did here at Santa Clara, she is the mother of 4 triplet boys, overachiever, and a baby girl named Blake, as well as being a commentator. If you watched the Women's World Cup this past summer and you watched the final, you heard her voice. She is the lead analyst for Fox, and she was also the first ever woman to call a men's World Cup, which she did the previous year in 2018. So welcome, Allie.
Thanks, Dan.
And you're going to take it away and
I got to introduce you, I guess. So I guess it's 25 years. I didn't realize that. But 2 things you need to know about Dee Slayton. First of all, fantastic open.
Thanks.
I mean, beyond the things that you've done on the field, I'm impressed. That was amazing. With Danielle, I think the one thing most people look at with accolades is that she played in the 2000 Olympics for the United States, but I would say that Danielle was probably our first pure left outside back in the country. And her career was really cut short by injury, and she would have been, I think the modern game would have been a place that you would have really excelled. So Brandy was a great left outside back. Danielle was, I think, the first of our generation to kind of be able to run that outside flank. Second thing about you that is most interesting, not most interesting, but maybe relevant, is that she was married here on campus to John. Yeah. She got married just this past, May. Mm-hmm. Finally, John. Finally. And now we're moving on with the rest of what lies ahead. Yeah, I wonder what that could be. More life. And 2 things about Jerry. Where to begin? Everyone wants to say, Mr. Chastain, married to Brandy Chastain. But I think he's more than that. I've had to think about this long and hard, and I do think there's some attributes that he actually brings to the table. I don't know if you have any, but no, for him.
Oh, like
Yeah. But Jerry actually is in the history of NCAA women's soccer, one of the top 5 coaches in the country. I would say the best. I played for 4 national team coaches. I played for other coaches around, I would say, the world. And he was easily the best coach that I've ever played under. And that says a lot. Second thing about Jerry that I think is most fascinating, he's probably better at golf than he is at coaching, which means where does he spend his time? I don't know. People might want to look into that. No, but truthfully, the other thing that he's done is he's really created the next generation of coaching mannerisms. If you watch today, watch the head bobble. This is the primo Jerry mannerisms. Other thing for Jerry, I would just say is, you probably know Abby Wambach. She's the leading goal scorer in the world in women's international football. She was someone who attributed to Jerry the resurrection in her career. So, welcome, Jerry.
All right, thank you, Allie. Best coach you ever played for said exactly how I asked you to say it, so thank you. I appreciate that. I'm here to introduce Kelsey Hedge. Kelsey's one of our current student athletes. Kelsey's a senior. She's our team captain. She's from Post Falls, Idaho. She represented the United States in the 2017 Under 20 World Cup. First team All-American last year, and I think is just the model student athlete, certainly the model student athlete here at Santa Clara University. So welcome, Kelsey.
Thank you, Jerry.
Yes. Welcome to all our panelists. Kelsey, we'll get to you shortly, but Jerry, I want to start with you in this first question. How do you see Santa Clara's national prominence increasing going forward, and what does women's soccer do to play a role in that?
Yeah, I'm excited about where we're going and the opportunities that lie ahead for women's soccer and for the university. You know, for so many years, we try to get recruiting material to entice recruits, and we got U.S. News and World Report, and Santa Clara was the #1 or #2, and lately the #1 regional university, ranked #1 regionally. And in my 33 years here at Santa Clara, I don't think we've ever had regional goals. We never said we want to be #1 in the region, #2 in the region. We never said that. We always want to be #1 in the country. We want to be the national champions. We want to beat everybody. We want to be the best program in the country. So the fact that Santa Clara University has now been reclassified because we're giving out more advanced degrees here, we're reclassified as a national university, I think is a great thing. And fine, we're not #1 nationally yet, but Santa Clara University will strive to be #1 nationally. And I think it's a great thing for all of us that we've been reclassified as a national university. Certainly for us, we are trying to win the national championship. We have a legitimate chance to win the national championship. We have won the national championship, and we've been in the Final Four 10 times. That's the Final Four of the national tournament. And so we always think about ourselves nationally. We try to play the best teams in the country year in and year out. We've done it again this year. This is the third time in the last 4 years we've beaten the #2 team in the country. We beat UCLA last week. They were #2. Last year we beat North Carolina. They were #2. A couple years before that we beat Stanford. They were #2. So we see ourselves as a national program. We want to be the big dog. We want to be the best program, and we want the greater university to also be in that same limelight. And so the fact that we are trying to win a national championship, a lot of eyes are on our program, brings national attention to our program, and we think that's awesome for us and awesome for the greater university.
Yeah, Santa Clara currently on number 54 on that new national ranking from U.S. News and World Report. Kelsey, let's be honest, your facilities, your locker room is a little bit nicer than when Allie and I were here. Okay. So what is it like to use the locker room, the new Stevens Center, play on Buckshaw Field? What's been your experience with the facilities and you getting to be an athlete and a soccer player here at Santa Clara?
Honestly, we have an incredible locker room. We spend so much of our time in there just like talking and studying, you know, and a lot of time just eating, and we have an incredible lounge where we can hang out, and we have a plunge pool where we can ice bath and recover quickly after games and after trainings, and we have an incredible film room where we can learn and grow and just teach each other about the game, and especially Buckshaw Field, we have incredible stadium, and it's just so much fun to play on, and we are so thankful for all of these facilities.
What song do you guys walk out to?
I couldn't tell you. We don't have one.
Really? You guys
Yeah.
would do that? They had more
No.
variety than we did back in the day. It was like on a CD. Remember that?
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, I think, and you know, we do have these incredible facilities, and I think, you know, first of all, thanks Mary and Mark Stevens for the wonderful gift they gave us that allows to build these wonderful facilities for sure, and they've been a game changer for women's soccer for sure. Our players are treated to the best possible facilities in the country when it comes to soccer. And on that point, we're really excited about our new project in athletics, which is the AEC. And I think what Stephen's gift has done for men's and women's soccer, the AEC is doing for athletics, and we need to have great facilities here if we're going to go after national championships in all sports. And quite honestly, I'm not quite sure how our basketball teams and our volleyball teams have been able to manage the facilities that we've had up to this point. They've been severely hamstrung by lack of facilities. AEC will help us. It'll help all of us in athletics. It'll especially help our men's basketball team. And I say men's basketball because we need men's basketball team to be successful. There's a financial component with men's basketball. And if men's basketball is successful, all boats rise. All of us in athletics are better if our men's basketball team is winning because of the financial component. We used to go up to Gonzaga, you remember back in the day, and it was like a cow pasture we had to play on up there.
Tackle with your mouth open.
Yeah, this was a cow pasture up there to play on the soccer facilities. Now, Gonzaga has a beautiful soccer facility. I'm sure there are a lot of reasons for it, but I'm guessing men's basketball success is a big part of why they have incredible facilities at Gonzaga now. And so AEC is going to help all of us. It helps women's soccer. It helps every sport here, but it's no doubt it's going to help our men's basketball team. And we have the right people in place. We have the right culture. Now we're building the right facilities. That's going to be big things for men's basketball going forward.
Yeah, and AEC is the Stephen and Patricia Schott Athletics Excellence Center. Got that out. A little bit of a mouthful. Yeah. Yes. But really excited. I know construction is already underway for that. Allie, why did you come to Santa Clara? What was it about this place? Well, obviously.
That was a really difficult decision because back in the day, we were fortunate enough to be on one of the best club teams, so we're getting recruited to the best universities, the best programs in the country. Could have been North Carolina, Stanford, Notre Dame. I know you're in the same exact boat. There were a couple reasons, and the first was because of Jerry Smith, and Brandy Chastain as well was part of that, and it was the idea that I wanted to go to a university that could put me in a position to achieve what I wanted to do, and that was play for the national team, and it was get an outstanding education. I loved the aspect that there's a really big network with Santa Clara. You think about it with Stanford, but there is a big tie with alumni, especially locally here. There's just always going to be a network of people you can go into after you're done with your playing career. So that was one piece to it, but the biggest piece was I wanted to go and win the first national championship and do something that this program hadn't done before. You could go to North Carolina, win the 20th. That's not that exciting. You could go to Notre Dame, win another one. They only had a handful at the time, but I wanted to do something. I wanted to break ground and achieve something that we hadn't been done before. And I just thought this was the perfect place to do it. And I thought we were set up in a really, perfect way. It felt like what was brewing was exactly right for us to come in and kind of lift the team over that hump and really, continue to push this program into the national forefront. And I just wanted to be a part of that, something bigger than ourselves. Yeah. And I think Santa Clara, again, and Jerry specifically, really made the right decisions to provide us with that opportunity.
Yeah.
And I got to jump in here because all three of these women up here could have gone anywhere. They were all recruited to every university, every top university. And these two particularly had every full ride from Stanford, North Carolina, Notre Dame, USC, you name it, they could have gone anywhere. And, what a great coup it was for Santa Clara University, the greater university, and particularly the women's soccer program to get these two, to get us over the top to win our first national championship. And again, as Allie said, she wanted to go and create a path so other people can follow along that path. Here's Kelsey Hedge following along that path because of what you guys created. So thank you.
No, I remember having conversations when we were in high school trying to decide where we were going to go. And you said that. You were like, I want to go do something that has never been done before. And like fast forward 20 years, like what are we doing? We're in the middle of this $1 billion campaign. We are being innovative and pushing the envelope and doing something that's never been done. So kudos to you. You're a trendsetter.
And look at Julie Ertz.
Yeah, for sure.
In the forefront too.
Yeah. Kelsey, I want to jump to you because I want to ask you what you want to do after graduation and how Santa Clara is helping you get there.
I think now being a senior, I've been asked this question 100 times in the past couple months, and I really don't still have a clear answer, but I'm hoping to go pro after I graduate and kind of see where that takes me, and the ultimate goal is to definitely make the national team. It's really cool being from Santa Clara too, because we have a lot of Santa Clara alums who have made the national team and who are on it currently right now, including you guys. And so you guys have set the standard, so it's been really cool to you guys are our role models and you guys are really inspiring, and so it's really cool to know that we can get there hopefully one day as well.
And how would you say, aside from us old ladies, but what is Santa Clara doing to help you not only prepare perhaps for being that pro, but whatever you're going to do after that?
Yeah, I think Jerry and Santa Clara really emphasize that you're not just an athlete here, it's about the whole person, and I think that's really important, and that's what separates Santa Clara from other schools. Here at Santa Clara, we get the best of both worlds. We're able to compete for national championships and compete against the best teams in the country, and yet we still get the benefits of being from a small, nurturing, and friendly environment where we are surrounded by faculty and staff who really care about who we are as people and how we grow as people, which has been awesome.
And I would add to that too, with when we came in, the way that the staff and Jerry specifically, the way they teach you is to make you think, right? They don't teach you what to do. They're teaching you the whys of what you're doing. And I would say that was one of the biggest benefits of coming to Santa Clara, and not just on the soccer field, but in the classroom. There is that individual attention where these professors, Jerry, they get to know the individual. And I think Jerry specifically was right on in knowing how to challenge you and push you, but then also kind of be there to support you. And when you look at kind of the way some of our alumni that are in really high profile positions, I see a confidence in them. I see people that think. I mean, I don't think I don't think it's a coincidence that Danielle is an analyst. She's an analyst for the San Jose Earthquake. She does sidelines there. She was an analyst in the World Cup. Same thing, 2 World Cups, same thing with Leslie Osborne. I don't think there's a coincidence, or I don't think that it's just perchance that we fell into these positions. It was that you're coming to Santa Clara, you're teaching thinkers, and you're teaching people that ask the questions why, and really try to process information, and with that develop a lot of confidence. And that's what, when we talk about young women, we talk about young men coming into the world and out of college. What do you want from these people? You want them to be confident human beings. You want them to be thoughtful human beings that are actually processing information and not robots. And I just think that was one of the biggest attributes of coming to this program.
I got 2 points on that as well. One is, I think when you're in a smaller environment, you can teach the individual, and teaching the individual is the key. Part of my role with the United Soccer Coaches is to teach coaches. One of the things I always tell coaches, if you're talking to the team, there's a chance you're talking to nobody. You got to talk to each person. The team needs this, the team needs that. Chances are you're not talking to anybody specifically. So to take the individual approach in coaching, in teaching, is easier to do at a smaller place. And we do that here at Santa Clara University. I think everybody benefits. And then to Kelsey's point, I think I get so many emails from Silicon Valley companies, particularly Silicon Valley companies, who essentially say the same thing. We're not interested in what their major is. We're not interested in what they've been trained in. We want the critical thinkers. We want someone with a growth mindset. We want high achievers. We want people who set high goals and fail many times before they ultimately get success. That's a grit and a resiliency that we're looking for in our company. So, Coach, we know you have those student athletes in your team. We'd like access to them, talk to them about our company, see if we can recruit them to our company. That is a big part of what Santa Clara University is about.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So we have a question online that I want to throw out there. Allie, I'm going to start with you because you have been doing broadcasts for around the world. So what do you want the world to know about Santa Clara?
That that there is an excellence that you feel when you walk around this campus. I think it's actually one of the most beautiful campuses that I've seen. But there is a thread that I feel, but that ties us all together as alumni and as current students, as prospective students we're trying to bring in, of excellence. That you feel like you are achieving something great, that you can achieve something great, and that you know that the people beside you are pushing to do that. And I just feel like there's a tie that we push each other, but we also, as Jerry said, together the boat rises. That's what I feel, or that's what I felt, and that's what I still feel when I come back to this day. So that would be it. And that we won a national championship.
Yeah. Just drop that little nugget in there. Kelsey, let's talk a little bit about soccer. What's been your biggest highlight on the soccer field that you've had here at Santa Clara in your time?
I think, every day is the best day ever, and there's a lot of highlights, but I think one of my favorite things is last year when we beat North Carolina on our home field. We beat them 1-0, and at the time they were ranked number 2, and they eventually got to the NCAA championship that year, and so I thought it was just really cool and really good for our team that we knocked them out.
Yeah, we like that too.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw in one of my highlights if you don't mind. So
here we go.
I've got plenty of them, but I remember it's a few years ago we were playing Stanford and they were ranked 1, and we were Father Eng, who our previous president, was going to bless the new Stevens Stadium. So he blessed the stadium before our match with Stanford. They were ranked number 1. We had about 5,000 people here in the stands. It was just an awesome environment. We ended up beating Stanford 1-0 with Mary and Mark Stevens in the stands with a full house. And one of just kind of I'll never forget this. We had 3 seniors involved in saving a penalty kick. Andy Tostanowski was a senior goalie, saved a penalty kick. We had a senior serve a corner kick in Megan Crossan, and a senior, Danny Weatherholt, score the goal that wins 1-0. And as Father Eng blessed the stadium, those 3 were out front, and the water fell on all 3 of those. And so all 3 of them were like, oh my God, something happened. The water hit us. We won this game. So that's a memory I'll never forget.
Did you invite Father Eng to every game ensuing?
And so on that point, in our last win against the number 2 team, no, Father O'Brien's already answered the bell because he came to our UCLA game. They were ranked number 2, and that was his first time seeing the women's soccer team, and we beat UCLA. So we just need the president to come to every game.
Yeah, and bring his water.
So, shameless plug, but when is the Stanford game this year?
So that is a week from Sunday. I don't know what that date is.
22nd.
Whatever that Sunday is. 22nd. Yeah, 22nd. That's going to be another great game. Stanford is again ranked number 1 in the country, and that's going to be a heck of a game. We have a couple big games this weekend against Arizona and Cal, but certainly a week from Sunday against Stanford will be a huge game.
Awesome. So a couple more questions. I want to talk about the Women's World Cup in France because actually all 4 of us were there. So, Kels, let's start with you. What do you remember from your trip to France and getting to participate in the World Cup or go to the World Cup?
Yeah, it was incredible experience, and we are so thankful to all the donors who donated because it will be a trip that we remember definitely for a lifetime. Probably the coolest thing was watching the World Cup games, especially watching USA versus France, and just being able to see Julie Ertz, for instance, Santa Clara alum out there, and being able to cheer for her and support her and kind of see her dream come blossom was really awesome. And just be able to build those relationships, off the field, and of course, see the Eiffel Tower. Yeah. That was incredible. So,
cool.
Yeah.
2027 maybe for you?
Hopefully.
Jerry, what about you? What do you remember?
I love coaching, so for me it was just coaching my team. I don't get to coach my team during the summer, so the fact that we could do training sessions and play games, we played 4 games while we were out there, was incredible. And like Kelsey said, just a big thanks to all the donors and the university for making that financially possible for us. I kind of at the 11th hour decided we should take the team to France, and we're in the middle of a $1 billion campaign that all we need to do is raise another 150,000 to go to France. So we got a lot of people to thank for that. But certainly coaching was the highlight for me, but watching the Women's World Cup and honestly listening to you guys during the Women's World Cup was a thrill for me. You know, I think as a coach, we certainly want to win. We certainly want to have success on the field. But there's nothing more gratifying than seeing your former student athletes out there being successful. And these two women were hugely successful, along with Leslie Osborne and Julie Ertz and so many others. So, you know, it'd be hard to pinpoint one thing, but I loved watching our former student athletes be successful out there and killing it.
And what about you, Allie, as kind of one of the big faces of the Women's World Cup? What's the highlight for you?
I would actually say I couldn't pick a game. I would say it was the span, it was the duration of the tournament and watching these stories unfold. The way that whether you agree or disagree with Rapinoe politically, it's irrelevant to me. The way they brought this attention onto themselves and the way they said, guess what? We're not scared. And they went out there and they continued to attack it and in the end won. I mean, they had the hardest path, right? I mean, when you're looking at this, you're going, this just feels like a really bad idea to come out first in your group. And they come out first, and then they're facing France, and then they're facing England, and then they face Netherlands, you know, the European champions. So I just think it was the whole span of the tournament and the way they navigated that space and the fact that they won again. The whole thing shocked me. I mean, I don't often cry in front of people. Now that I have kids, I do it more often. But I couldn't, like, as soon as the broadcast, as soon as it was over, I was like in tears. It was, I'm even getting emotional now. It was like really emotional for me. And I was just so proud of these women because I went, you guys are inspiring and the next generation, and they're achieving things that you know, I know you want to achieve and that you can achieve and that you will. And it's a matter of the work and not being afraid and the confidence. And so watching that unfold was, I think, really special.
Yeah.
What about for you?
Yeah, I mean, they just had this swagger about them where they were like, I'm a badass and I own it and I don't care what you think.
Yeah.
And try to
Really
stop
impressive.
me. Yeah,
know.
and I
It's
love
really
that.
Impressive. I mean, as a coach, you know, we constantly telling our team, you know, don't put anything out there, fly under the radar, keep it on the down low. That's all we do so that we don't bring any attention and pressure on ourselves. They did nothing but bring attention and pressure on themselves and answered the bell every single time.
Yeah.
Really impressive.
Yeah.
Well, and that's kind of part of the women's soccer story here at Santa Clara, too. So for all the people who are out there, friends, parents, alumni, come to the soccer game, support the women's soccer team, help donate to the athletics and get this new Athletics Excellence Center built. And anywhere you really feel passionate on campus, this campaign is a huge undertaking, but just like the women's soccer team, and Allie said, we're not scared. Bring it. We can do it. We're fired up to do it and really fired up for where the future of Santa Clara is going to be. So thank you very much to our studio audience. Thank you very much to everybody who tuned in on Facebook, everybody who tuned in on LinkedIn as well. This is Inside SCU. Be sure to stay tuned for future series. We've got a lot coming at you. Thanks again. Have a good one.